have a special menu. It's just like the what would we call it? Two kills, 2 KPM. The 2 KPM special.
The 2 KPM special, yeah.
Just like really spicy stuff. Yeah, so draft is completely the same. I think it was just an issue with swap there.
Yeah, so didn't buy items, so that might be a bit more of an issue than the swap.
Val, you wanna check your items? But okay, yeah, he's like, wait a sec. I'm gonna head on back.
You know, the guy's sweating over here.
Man, that would have sucked if you like. Oh, you get like a Doran's, so you get like an extra 80. You take an extra 2 auto attacks, and you can do about maybe 20 extra damage overall.
Yeah, I mean, you get like plus 8 auto attack damage.
Yeah. Get like some extra damage on your Q.
You know, that could be the difference between life and death. I have to mention as well that it's the Ignite coming in for Direlli, whereas it is the exhaust from the Yasuo.
Oh, okay.
Kind of
really, it's really looking then for a duel there for Val,
right?
So you're pretty much going for an all-in, and you're just going to try and prevent as much damage as possible.
Exactly. You have this window of time with the exhaust to really be able to look for the kill. It's a little bit of an unfortunate fact that the Olaf really doesn't have any form of early knockups that's able to transition well with level 6 form of the Yasuo. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but it shouldn't matter too much as they start transitioning into the later phases of the game, where they have the Alistar who's able to perform that role exceptionally well.
Here, it's going to be a red side start for both of our junglers. Whether or not they want to clash on anything early game, possibly from that Lee Sin. A nice little knock up there. In the end, though, Trade, you almost say, would have favored side there of RYL. Both supports are going to be able to heal up just nicely. You even saw there, it's been a while since I've actually seen Rakan be played in competitive, and you saw just how slow that dash is now. Like,
yeah.
There's time to react to it.
It got really gutted.
Level 2 here. There you go.
Rest, anyway.
Nice job here from Gary and Hames. Going to be able to get some harass down and get themselves some quick CS and start pushing that into the tower. That actually forces Sap to have to lose a couple to the tower, likely.
Should see a pretty standard start coming out from both sides. I don't really expect anybody to have this early game kill advantage. Considering the bot lane from the Rakan has the Ignite, I can only imagine that he wants to go for a couple of kills, but I don't see that being too much of an issue for Lucian and for the Alistar coming in.
Nicely job there by Exozan, and Val actually ended up dashing into the minion wave, so a little bit of a mess up there, but you saw how much damage that stack passive can do. On top of that, the Conqueror as well, and see, Exo is not letting up, has used a lot of mana though, and guess who's coming around the corner? That's Doctoy looking for a possible play here. Tanks the one tower shot, gonna connect there with a resonating strike. They dash on in, Ignite ticks, and that's first blood going on down to the Irelia, and it's not stopping there possibly, as bot lane now pushing in pretty harshly into the tower RYL, and LYB already feeling extremely comfortable, it seems.
Yeah, that was just a well-executed dive in the early game, able to set them up, and now diving over into the bot side, looking to try and get the kill onto the Lucian.
Bap getting a little too far forward there. If you're going to walk into melee range with Rakan, it doesn't care how fast he moves. He'll be able to catch you, and that's going to be another turret plate also coming on through. You can already see, look at this gold lead already starting to form. It's one kill, but because of the turret plating and the amount of CS that's starting to get denied here in both mid and bot lane, it's already almost 1,500 gold. You actually thinking about it? Oh, nah, there's an Alistar. But he does prevent the back, and that forces Sap to now have to deal with the fact that he's going to lose more CS.
Yep, stalling on this recall from the Lucian, costing him some time, and now Lucian does finally manage to make the recall, but the wave is crashing in. And meanwhile, Lee Sin can have the time of his life counter jungling.
Can go for it if he decides, instead ends up not. He's taking some time here, looking to scout out and see if he can find Ian going through the jungle. Let's make their way up to the ward top side. Ward is going to get spotted out here. Ends up going to clear the ward. Could have gone for a possible gank, but of course it's a pop. He can look to just push you underneath her own tower. Trade back pretty effectively. W1D1 a little too far forward here. Sap might be able to pick up a kill, and just no respect, it would seem. Has no flash available. Gets back to safety. Ends up using the blast cone. Trying to get back here. It's going to just try and let the Alistar take the kill, or someone's going to take it. Goes back, tries to force Vaughn to do something. But that's a nice, yeah, when you don't have the lane priority, because the Callisto wasn't pushing it in fully.
Yeah, that was a big miscommunication. Yeah, sure. The Callisto is getting a little bit more CS above the Lucian, but that was not a reason to go for such a, like, unnecessary play, honestly.
So Val there not having the time of his life currently in mid lane. Tried to use wind wall. You can actually, I believe, interrupt the Irelia stun with wind wall, but it's if you actually put the wind wall between the 2 points, not between Irelia and the daggers.
It should be like sideways.
So be adjusting to the matchup here, but still, it's a 1-for-1. 6 minutes on the clock. LYB currently sit themselves at almost a 1,900 gold lead. That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of CS that's been denied. It's at 15-51 in the mid lane, Brandon.
15-51, 20-46. Look at the CS gap.
And he got another turret plate, too. It keeps growing. Something's got to change here on the side of RYL.
See, the thing here with LYB is that I don't even feel like they have the best matchups. I just feel like they are individually better players. Mechanically, they have the means to go forward, punish the opponents, take away their CS, and, you know, this kind of interesting play coming in for the Lee Sin early game. Despite that, you just give more time to EXO over the mid lane to just farm up, clear out the waves against the Yasuo, and force Yasuo into this position. Val has not had much time to CS. 25, half the CS of Irelia right now.
Push coming in as well. Unfortunately, this Jax hasn't been able to really make a play either, as that's starting to be a massive gold lead in top lane, too. That's 20 CS, almost getting a kill. The fact that G is staying close has yet to burn a flash, but still, that's going to be a forced teleport, as those are going to start crashing into the tower. And this is also not a good start, right? All the lanes are just being shoved in. Unfortunately for Ian, he can't really save every lane at the same time. He's got to worry about his own farm. Currently the only one on his team sitting at a CS advantage.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward, though, that the Olaf shouldn't really be looking to just keep farming like this. He doesn't gain that much off of doing this, so it makes more sense for the Olaf to be looking to try and make a play. There's a good class coming in for them to try and secure this blue buff, but again, they don't translate this into anything, and it's just going to find themselves falling further behind.
So there, Joe was getting a little too comfortable into the jungle, tried to steal away the blue buff, was denied. Wasn't even level 6 right now. Was killed a little bit earlier on due to a little bit of over-aggression into the jungle, trying really hard to prevent Sap from getting back. You can just see even the big difference here. It's only a longsword that was able to be picked up here by Sap. On top of that, went for a refillable pot, so that's also gold that's being used. That's also going to be the ultimate coming on through. Charm is going to land, but no one is finishing off the kills. Goes on forward, finds it here, but guess that was so much damage. But guess what? A Vampiric Scepter might be enough. Just needs to use the Rend here at some point. Comes on through, does it one stack too early. And Keeper's Verdict gets rid of some of the minions.
Look at the play coming in for the Rakan down the bot side, trying to find the lockdown onto the opponents, trying to get the lockdown onto the Alistar, onto the Lucian, and he did it with great timing too. He got it right when they were level 5, transitioning to 6, where they didn't have the ultimates yet, and they couldn't find the tankiness for the Unchained. His issue really came from the fact that he went in 2v2 under turret. You're effectively fighting a 2v3, and there's no way that you're gonna beat that out at 9 minutes in the game. With the jungler coming in, that was definitely gonna be a free kill, a free double kill coming in for anybody that wanted it. Oh, Exhaust is here. Val might be looking for the opportunity, is able to avoid the knock-up from the Alistar. Nice kick, though, into the wall. They're gonna go ahead and just pin him against it, as Doe's gonna pick up the kill. They're able to tie up the kills back to 3-3 and keep themselves at a 2,600 gold advantage. Drawing themselves a pretty strong lead, despite the fact they have equal kill counts. Very strong CSing coming in, as well as map control are putting them far ahead of RYL in this early game. However, as well as the rest of his team, RYL now coming to possess their very strong ultimates. This might be a game changer.
Could have dashed over the wall, realized was maybe a little too far forward. They got themselves as well. Control ward, trying to get rid of that. Not able to find it though. Cam's gonna get pinned up against the wall there. Culling's gonna also come out. That's gonna be also the call coming back in. The knockup is there. The quickness is there as well. And Doe has joined in onto the fight. Doesn't have kick available, but the rend is enough. As Gary's gonna pick up the kill. Meanwhile, in mid lane, last breath coming out. It's down to the wire, and Exo's able to survive.
Oh my goodness, down to 15 health.
Oh, here comes an Olaf, though. As the Predator popped, just needs to go on forward, able to avoid the axe with a flash smite coming on in. Doe also able to find another kill in the bot lane. LYB able to expand their gold lead to 4,000 at 11 minutes.
Man, flash smite, a point and click, man, no counterplay here. But here, let's take a quick look at the replay over to the mid lane to see how this fight started out. So it starts off with a pretty standard trade. Yasuo actually manages to find the Conqueror stack a little bit before Irelia, but she pulls off the Vanguard's edge, jumps in, gets the healing off the Conqueror, and that keeps her alive in that fight.
And first brick gold going on over to LYB. Not looking too pretty here, Brandon. It's now a 5,000 gold lead at 11 minutes.
Big gap.
It's a big gap.
Almost 1 kill per minute, though. We're not quite there yet.
You're keeping tallies on that kill per minute. We got a quota.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter because even with all those even with the low kill count, just because of the amount of CS, they're making up with the amount of kills they're getting on minions.
That's true.
That's the secret right now.
I mean, you can keep track of the things that matter to the game. I'll keep track of the things that are fun to the game.
The fun stats with Grandin.
Fun stats.
Boring stats. Real game stats with Opal. That'll be our new segment.
Yeah, that sounds like an interesting one.
That's not interesting. I know what you're talking about.
So starting off, does look like we have RYL trying to pick up this Ocean Dragon early on. It's a pretty good pickup coming in for them. I feel like it can assist them making it through lane phase. Especially up in his top lane in the mid lane. Not so much for the bot lane. Bot lane has their own separate issues, but now that this Lucian and Elsa have been freed up a little, I'm wondering what's going to happen, whether or not they're going to be able to make any plays.
Top lane. Step back over. The Gamza has now completed components towards Sunfire, finishing it quite shortly. We're going to go underneath the tower, get some % health damage. Steal. It's a pretty tanky Poppy at this point. Also picked up the turret plate. Says, thank you for the 160 gold. I'll be on my merry way. Be careful here, though. You're going to have... Okay. That actually... okay.
Okay.
Keeper's Verdict actually got rid of him. It was a spectator bug there. I was like, did he somehow phase through a camera? Over here, there, Vaughn comes in, gets the knockup. Last breath is going to be there. Vanguard's edge comes on through. It's going to turn into a 4v3 in favor of RYL, but the rest of LYB are starting to come on through. Knockup follows on down. It's still enough. They find themselves the first kills. G's going to fall as Exo will pick it up.
Eason coming in with the Dragon's Kick is able to set up a nice chain of CC onto RYL. They managed to take this opportunity to find this mid lane tower. This is what I like to see. You don't always necessarily have to go for kills. Even if you get the kills, if you lose all your health and aren't able to find anything afterwards, there's no point. Instead, he forces them away, uses the kick to put them at a low enough threshold that it's easy for LYB to get the kills. So now they have to respect the potential burst from the red team and back off as they lose this mid lane out-tier turret as well as the Rift Herald.
Yeah, for LYB, they're almost starting to set themselves up to speedrun this game. They got themselves a 7,000 gold lead. You're also going to get yourself a Rift Herald on top of things before the 20-minute mark. Can use that for another good fight in your favor. And then you can just look to take an inhibitor before that 20-minute mark, before Baron even spawns. Oh, they're being mean at this point.
Extra sneaky, jumping in, come on.
Jumping in. Just taps him a little. They do realize there's a Rakan behind him. He's going to go ahead and get over to the side of the wall. Ian's not going to be able to follow through. They focus now shifts toward this top lane as they've rotated their bot lane upwards on the map. As the Poppy now going to be pushing in bot lane too. Got it down to the second tier tower as well. Has teleport still available.
Very easy right macro plays coming in for the Poppy. Doesn't really even have to consider all that much. It's really just a simple choice of a simple matter of just going to push out whichever lane, as opposed to what the rest of the team is going for. Oh my goodness, just straight up dishing out damage under the turret, 2 levels higher than the Yasuo.
Just slams down the hammer, says, come at me. What are you gonna do? I got myself a Sunfire already. I'm starting to build up my Iceborne. I'm just gonna be a hassle.
Poppy didn't even do damage there. Poppy literally just slammed down the hammer just to say, what do you want?
It's a statement, all right?
Yeah, it's a statement. Not
Coming in there, Small Yordle says, I have more gold than you right now.
I will take turret aggro because that's how little damage you do.
Asserting dominance, it would seem. Up toward top lane, LYB still continues on this push. They're going to have a minion wave start to crash, and I don't think anybody there from the side of RYL is going to be able to stop this. LYB is going to be able to get this turret. They take down all the outer tier towers on the map and gain full control over the midsection. We'll see whether or not Vaughn wants to try and make a play instead opts to back off, because guess what? There's also an Aurelia. You got Lee Sin on top. Yeah, that's going to force the ultimate.
Good move coming in from the Olaf. Acknowledge that you won't be able to respond to the push coming in from RYL. Instead, from LYB. Instead, RYL make the move. You can wave to your top side. Have the Olaf push out the mid lane. This takes away a secondary threat that they might have to deal with if the Lee Sin moves out mid. They pop the Rift Herald, and then suddenly they have to concede top tier to turret, because now they have to go and deal with the fact that there is a Rift Herald mid lane. LYB making their rotational play to go mid lane.
Oh, and they just die Val at this point. Is this even a fight that G can look to win? Gets interrupted there. That percent health damage is ticking. Rift Herald's also going to be popped in mid lane. Guess what? Ian's decided, hey, I want to try and take down this Poppy. Keeper's Verdict coming out. Not enough damage to finish off the Jax. And honestly, they're just wasting time at this point because their inhibitor's about to be taken.
Drawing attention away, the Poppy's death will not be forgotten as LYB pick off an inhibitor over in the mid lane with the loss of the Poppy there. But still, man, that's a great push coming in.
Great trade overall. It's going to be an 8,000 gold lead for LYB. They're only 3 kills up, but they got themselves 5 towers. They got that tower plating early on in the game. That's so much additional gold that's starting to snowball. And it's starting to look out of control, too. That's almost a Flame Horizon coming in for Exozen. It's going to use the Vanguard's Edge, wants to go on and gets the stun, and just rips apart the Viking in the jungle as the Olaf's going to fall.
The one person on RYL who was even relatively ahead, 3-0 at that point, 117 CS, look for a fight on the Aurelia, just straight up loses it, and that's gonna be a massive loss. The snowball potential for the Olaf was there. It was present. It was enough for them to say, all right, maybe this is what we need to do. We need to get Olaf ahead enough that he's able to keep us in the game. But with that being lost, now you have to put it on the back of the Yasuo, and Yasuo's 1-3.
We have Exo going to go ahead and back off. We got a Baron coming up, 2 minutes. No Mountain Drakes this time, actually. We had 2 Ocean Drakes over the course so far of the game. RYL was actually able to pick up an Ocean Drake at some point. I think that was during another trade. But you just see here, LYB, they got themselves that pressure in mid lane. Now they look to rotate down toward bot, take this second tier tower, and it's looking very clean from them.
This is a much cleaner game than we saw first time around. I do feel like that's slightly attributed to, again, as I said, I feel like there is a more significant skill gap between LYB and RYL as opposed to LYB versus TGL, Tigers, Tele Tigers, right?
Tele Tigers, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember the acronyms right now. But I feel like there's a bigger skill discrepancy this time around, and I think it's starting to show a little bit. The game isn't over as quickly, but this is much more methodical, and this is much more well-paced coming in from LYB.
Well, the biggest thing to be scared of, too, here is now this Kalista is starting to come online, has the Runans completed, and that's just such a big power spike where you're able to apply all your Ren stacks onto many members of the opposing team. Woo, Vanguard's Edge, a cheeky little dodge there coming out from Sap, as was able to predict that one coming out from Exo.
Nobody saw that.
No one saw that. He's hit every single one, right?
Absolutely. I even saw one where you hit 6 people.
How could you hit 6 people?
Exactly.
We're playing Hexakill?
Now trying to shove out a couple of waves, Poppy over the bot side, so it should be a setup coming in from LYB as they try to push in the top lane and the bottom lane at the same time. They could transition into an easy Baron if they choose to do so, so I'm kind of curious as to what the recall from the Rakan is looking like.
Here, Exo still looking to apply pressure in this top lane. Has 3 people starting to surround this Aurelia. And Ian really wants to try and take this. Unfortunately, that Alistar is not going to be close enough. He keeps going. Exo could turn this, realizes, hey, I'm alone. Goes back to safety. LYB are also looking to rotate.
LYB move over, trying to spot out where the enemy can touch.
Oh my god.
Now looking to try and catch onto the Olaf.
Looking for him. Not going to connect though. Stun is not going to follow on through from the Aurelia. Just giving a quick tag. Goes on in. Jumps on back to a ward, looking for the stun on the Lucian, not going to connect from Exo. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Poppy looking for this flank here. You got the teleport coming on over. The Jax is actually recalling, so it's going to be just a solid 3-man knockup, but there's no follow-up, there's no Yasuo, and now the rest of the team is just going to get wailed upon. Ren comes on through. That's a double kill for the Kalista.
Easily Baron in the sights, a great user quickly. So we talked about how Rakan is so different now in his playstyle, similar. Wow, that was
if you actually hit that, that would have been nasty, but they don't even need to. Brandon, as they continue to push in underneath this tower, Gamza are going to get knocked up, but all 5 members of LYB are looking to keep sieging upon, backing off. Vanguard's edge onto the multiple members, goes into the knockup, and they're just getting juggled upon their turrets. The rest of the team is starting to spawn here onto the fountain. Doe is looking to try and finish off the game. Tower's going to fall here, but guess what? The kite coming out from Gary is able to go for so long into the double last breath. And there you go. Val able to finally find themselves the kills they've been looking for. They claim the bounties, but was it enough? Because even with all that gold being swung back over toward RYL, LYB is still 9,000 gold ahead.
Once again, we head back to the moment where the team that's ahead has to make it through.
This is aggressive. Val, you do not have the lifesteal for this. It's finally going to go ahead, but it doesn't block at that point. They should be able to take this in the end, but they did end up losing their tower at the same time, so
very slow.
This is very slow. Poppy's going to come on over. Keeper's Verdict isn't available. Could end up using it, or is just looking to contain the fight. Goes on and gets on top of the Yasuo, takes him on down. Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the Olaf. It's a toss-up between who's going to end up taking it. Out gets back on in, able to smite it, but guess what? The rest of LYB have come on forward, and Royale are just stuck in the Baron pit. They're dancing on their graves, Grandin.
Stuck in the pit, Olaf, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Gets taken out. Oh, it's an easy push coming in for LYB, who are looking to end off the game, trying to pick up this mid lane inhibitor.
Oh, Culling! Gonna try and do some damage, but unfortunately G can just not do enough damage. The inhibitor has respawned, but it's gonna get taken down here. And at 23 minutes, LYB look to finish this game off. Respawns might come back up in time, but the Kalista's already moving on over. Sap is trying to delay. It ain't gonna happen. Dragon Kick gonna keep Val away from the squishy carries. And Gary, they're just adding on to their kill counter at this point. Just boosting up their stats, it would seem, as they turn their focus back on over. Doe, in the middle of the animation, gets back to safety. Dancing, juking, doing tricks. Nexus falls. LYB go 2-0 for tonight.
KDA players coming in. LYB managed to secure the second win as they move into the PH national qualifiers for the LST spring split. Pretty good stuff coming in. This game was a lot slower than the one we saw from them before, but it was clear.
Was it slower, to be honest? Because like once they actually picked up the pace, they kind of stomped.
Slow is the wrong word. The game was a longer duration, but it definitely felt like it was actually. It didn't feel slower. It just had a longer duration, and it was a lot more well executed than what they did in the first.
And I think it comes back to what you said over there for the side of LYB. They just felt like they had just the better team.
Yeah.
Just the better individual players when it came to the lanes, and it looked like RYL was just outclassed, I think, at that point. We saw in the lane matchups, every lane was ahead by 30 to 40 CS before 10 minutes. Like, I think it's clear as day. There wasn't too much that RYL could really do. There was a couple opportunities they saw that, LYB maybe getting a little too confident. They're like, yeah, we can just dive all these players. Let's just boost our stats. We want to get a little bit more. I want MVP, possibly. They want to try and get our producers, give them MVP for some sick play or something. But it was because LYB were just being careless.
Yeah, they thought they had a good opportunity to go in, try to do more than they probably could have, and that ended up costing them a little bit as they lost their lives. But ultimately, as we come back to it and we take a look once again at how LYB have managed to dominate the past 2 games, the first one up against Tigers, who were perhaps not crowd favorites, but a respectable team that, you could say, yeah, this is a respectable level of gameplay in the Philippines. So the fact that they took away a very convincing game against the Tigers and then now taking this game against RYL, I have to say, LYB looking like the crowd favorites.
For tonight, they're going to go 2-0 as far as their group goes, so that they're going to be feeling pretty good heading into tomorrow as well. Honestly, you take 2 more wins, and you're almost secure top of the table of your group, depending on how the other teams battle it out. Because honestly, you just do a double round robin within your own group. If you're at the top of that table, you move on to the national minors.
Right, so it's actually looking pretty good for LYB right now, and they have a pretty good chance of just moving through everything very smoothly. But with that being said, we do have to focus on some of the other teams that have joined into this competition and are now looking to, and we're looking for some of the top teams that could potentially be the ones to watch as well. We saw a Riven game.
Yeah, we saw a Riven. I know you're excited. Fish wasn't excited. Fish wasn't excited.
As much as I would like to say that the Riven game was, the team that played Riven was performance well, didn't. As much as I'd like to say the Riven is the team that played Riven would be one of the teams to watch, I'm not sure I can say that because they had a lot of sloppy mistakes, a lot of
It was off the back of Cruz.
Exactly.
Like,
Cruz single-handedly brought them back into the game. I don't
brought
believe...
them back from the dead. Like, it was insanely done.
I don't believe that Cruz is going to be able to replicate such a formula against teams like LYB. It might be possible for them to make it into the top 4. Maybe. Teams like that might be able to make it in the top 4, but I don't think ultimately they will be able to find themselves at the top of the ladder.
We'll have to see here. We're going to get our post-game stats up in just a second, and we'll get our man of the match also sorted out here. For you, what's your vote for man of the match?
This is a difficult one. As I was looking at the game, I was thinking to myself, well, who would I give my MVP to? And it's difficult to say. I wanted to give it over to the Irelia a little bit because, great KDA, but
KDA
that's a lot of damage. But I felt like the Lee Sin had a lot of pressure top side and bot side. The thing that made the difference was that Lee Sin had a gap in pressure mid lane, which is fine because Irelia was winning the mid lane single-handedly, so I could understand why that was happening. So I would say that probably Lee Sin would be my MVP.
I'll have to see. I have an X near the name mainly because that little bit of a overconfidence at level 3,
the Krugs.
giving Sap a free kill. Honestly, that allowed that Lucian to at least kind of stay I'm not gonna say close.
That was a big minus on my.
It was a big minus there, but let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. It was a one-sided victory there. It's 20-9 in the kills, 10 turrets for LYB. They did pick up at least the Baron and the Drake, but they lost everything for that Baron. And you take a look here, too. It's not a great game when your Jax does less damage than your support Alistar.
That's 16.2k damage, Poppy. That's pretty respectable.
Pretty good, yeah. Well, it's percent health damage. We even saw that. Was able to out-trade the Jax in lane. So our man of the match going to be EXO in that mid lane.
All right.
9-2-5. Understandable.
Yeah, this is an understandable choice. Irelia definitely had a lot of pressure, a lot of damage coming into this. I felt like the Lee Sin was a little bit more of a what if, He could come into as an MVP, but I like this choice anyway. EXO performing quite well for his team. So we've already started to see LYB have a diverse spread in who is able to come forward as the sort of carry for the team. We've had the top lane be that sort of form of carry. We've now had the mid lane be that form of carry. And the ADC has constantly been able to out-damage the opponent ADC and be this relevant marksman that they need.
Well, and that consistency in those lanes, that's the best you can ask for right now. You're feeling very confident after your first day. You're undefeated. You go into tomorrow, you say, all right, we got to just take 1 or 2 more wins, and then we're almost pretty much there. We still got a lot of days to go, of course, though. They do play out over the course of 4 days per region. We have 2 this week and then 2 next week, so still plenty of action to come. And speaking of action, we also have one more game for you guys tonight between Mams Esports and TNC Predator. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be sure to give you all the action.